Alright, hello everybody, this is Nick from thearcadehunters.com. Welcome to episode number 30 of the Arcade Hunters podcast, and with me as always, my good pal Gerard.
Hello out there.
And today, finally, after 2 episodes of talking about wrestling pinball games that have not come out yet, and we don't know the exact how good they're going to be, we're finally talking about a little place in Nashua, New Hampshire called Funworld.
Now, we go into details about our first time going there. We discuss the Galaxian 3 theater that they had and how back in 2007 when you go to their website to look up about the place, one of the first things that pops up is a big ass picture. Basically, it's almost like the impact's almost like someone coming out of the computer screen grabbing you saying, "We have a Galaxian 3, get your ass over here." And we go and
dangling a steak in front of a hungry dog. So
yeah.
We talk about that a lot and more. I talk about some video game books. Yep. And shout outs to Andy and Chie from Tokyo Game Action. They're over out in Tokyo, hanging out, keeping everything going. So here we are, episode 30. The Arcade Hunters starts right now. Here we go. Hey everybody, Nick from the Arcade Hunters here. I just wanted to put in something very quick in the beginning of the podcast. At the end of the podcast, I have found an old audio file from back in 2007 that we did as we left Funworld. So I'm going to include that in the end, and I will also have a special intro at the beginning of it. So stay tuned and take a listen.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode...
That'll be your intro.
Welcome to episode 30 of the Arcade Hunters podcast, and holy shit, we made it to 30.
Wow.
You know,
we hardly ever stick to anything on this thing.
I know. We've actually done 30 times more episodes than the last one.
Yeah.
Which we only did one.
Yes. Well, there was Gavin and, was it like 7 or 8 Pixel Pill episodes that we did?
That wasn't us. That was a collaboration. That was different.
The worst part about doing Pixel Pill with Brian was I had gotten like a bad bout of food poisoning or like a stomach virus like halfway through the episode, and all you can hear if you ever go back and you listen to the podcast, I don't know if Brian even still has it up on his site, I'm just like, ugh, like that, trying not to like go in and try to mute my microphone so you don't hear me. Like, I mean, my stomach got loud, but anywho, hi everybody, I'm Nick and welcome to episode 30.
On that pleasurable note,
I know. And started off with food poisoning. Oh boy, what are they going to talk about else today?
You never know what's going to come out of the magic hat with this show.
Yeah.
Anyway, I am glad to say that, well, not glad, but for all the non-wrestling fans out there, this will not be a wrestling-centric episode.
Yay! Yeah, we had 2 wrestling. Gerard and I are toying around with the idea of doing maybe like a side wrestling podcast, and I already know there's 1,001 other great wrestling podcasts out there. And, you know, speaking of wrestling, I got my heel book shirt. Oh, very nice. It says, "I do not apologize for being a fan of pro wrestling," and I'm going to wear that to the inevitable Royal WrestleMania launch, pinball launch. So I'll have that there. But if you guys are thinking like, hey, you know, we like when these guys talk about wrestling, you know, drop a comment in... over on the website or over on the YouTube channel if you listen to us on YouTube, and let us know if you want us to do like a side wrestling podcast. Maybe we'll do one a month or every other month. We'll talk about whatever the pay-per-view is, you know. As I was saying with Gerard, I think the reason why wrestling podcasts are so popular is because of just how bad the product is, and everybody just seems to complain, and they're like, I agree with you. It's awful. It's terrible.
But it's funny because the perspective I would be bringing to it is I'm like a born again wrestling fan.
Yeah.
I stopped watching wrestling a long time ago when the WWE Network came out. I'm like, you know what? I'll do the 2-week free trial, and then I haven't gone back since.
Yeah.
And I've been going back and watching the old ones and getting into it, and it's just kind of funny. So there's a lot of lingo and a lot of stuff about the business that I still don't fully understand. And
Yeah,
there's
I don't like using like some of the behind the scenes terms because people are like don't use that.
or not even that, but like for example, I still don't fully understand why everyone hates John Cena. I
Because he's been on top for 12 years
yeah,
and he
yeah,
hasn't changed his
but
gimmick or
yeah,
personality.
but
It's the
see,
same thing.
for me, I just started watching it like a year ago. So I've only seen him on top for a
Yeah.
year. So I'm like, this guy's not so, he doesn't seem so bad. Why is everybody hating on him?
12 years. Like that. So it's like everybody's like, come on, longer than Hogan. But so on to non-wrestling topics. A few weeks ago, Gerard and I dropped a nugget saying that we did a little article. We helped collaborate with an article for Edge magazine, and we're very pleased to say that the article is out on the newsstands today. Or well, it came out last week, and I was listening back to the podcast as I was putting the clips and going, God damn it, I forgot to talk about it.
Both of us did.
I was just like, it's coming out on Tuesday, and we didn't mention it because I even put like a thing on Instagram, like with the date from the iPod calendar. So like it's coming, January 15th, and I was like, holy shit, it's been out for 5 days and we haven't been talking about it. I got to put it on the website to let people know.
Mm-hmm.
So we did a whole thing. It's about on the cover of the magazine, it has Nathan Drake from Uncharted 4, so it's the really nice high-resolution, detailed model of what he's going to look like in the new game. And very on the bottom right, it says how to start your own arcade, how to like start building your own arcade. So that's where all that's going to be. So there's going to be the article is going to be trimmed for the publication, but if you opt in to get it online, like there is an iPod version or an iPad version, it will have the complete interviews in full.
Yep.
And Gerard can tell you about how much time that we spent on that. We did it the last time. We telling everybody how much time we spent. And
oh god, the transcribing process took forever. It was my first time transcribing interviews, and the interview I did with Gary Vincent over at the American Classic Arcade Museum ended up being, I think, like 11 pages long.
Yeah,
after
huge.
Transcribing it.
Gigantic.
Because it was just, Gary's just so interesting. I was just finding out so much about the museum, the new projects they've been doing, and then going on tangents talking about Ralph Baer and stuff like that, and talking about what he was like when I met him, and Gary telling me a story about when they went to his house to pick up it's like a foam ball recognition game where basically you play duck hunt, but you throw little Nerf balls at the TV.
Yeah, I saw photos of that on their website. It's like I wish they weren't so backwards up there. I was like, no, don't take a photo of it. Take a video of it. Put it online. Let everybody see that. Let them know what you're doing. Because people just, the problem is like everything that you said on the last podcast where we talked about the Edge article was, saying about all the stuff that ACAM does. And I really wish that was more out there in the public knowledge that they did do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They'll put a post or two about that on Facebook. But when people go up there, they just think, oh, this is that place from that movie King of Kong, and all the friggin', grown men that are still playing these old video games that are having grudge matches and fights with each other. And, that's true with like pretty much every hobby. But, it's great to see that these guys are, bringing the community in. They're teaching all the kids.
They have colleges coming over doing projects there and doing tours and having like seminars and learning about the old games and seeing what it was like. It's not like today you can hop on a computer, program a game, and from start to finish have it done on the computer.
Yeah.
It was a lot different than when you're working with more chips and just the whole 9 yards. It's almost like pinball today is still like that and doing that.
It's just like you sit there and you read the stories about just how it was to make those games. One of the great documentaries we got to see was Howard Scott Warshaw's Once Upon Atari.
Oh God! Yeah.
And I mean, these guys are, they basically, he said there was one programmer, one idea, one voice, and that's how we did it at Atari in the very early age
Mm-hmm.
before Warner bought them out. That's why if you go back and you play some of the original Atari games before all hell broke loose, and I think it was one of the head guys from Warner told, God damn it, I forget his name, not Ed Logg, the guy that formed Atari that created Pitfall.
David Crane.
Yeah, pretty much told David Crane, you're no more important than the guy that puts the cardboard box sleeve in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when they went and formed Activision and all hell broke loose. So it was just like, if you just find out about just all the creativity that went on about creating a game and stuff like that, and Howard Scott Warshaw as a character. I was talking, there's one guy that runs Atari7800.com, and there was this thing about, they show Howard Scott Warshaw designing Raiders of the Lost Ark, and I put, it needs 100% more of him running around the Atari office cracking a bullwhip wearing a leather jacket and the hat. And he goes, oh, you mean this? And he puts the clip from the documentary, and I said, that's it. Like, one guy would do the spider walk on the in the hallway, that he would like put his arms and legs out on the wall,
and climb up and climb up,
and then he hit the friggin' the fire sprinkler and got a gash in his head and it was bleeding everywhere.
Hysterical.
Oh man, do you imagine if he? I just think like let's hop in the
the Wayback
Sliders.
Machine.
No, Sliders, because Sliders was same Earth, different dimension. Where they call the multiverse.
Yeah.
I want to go into the slider. I want to get the little slider thing and go into the world where he never sold that company to Warner, and he said, you know what, we're just going to do it ourselves. We're not going to be like a big, publicly traded company, and we're just going to do everything ourselves to see how different the world would be of gaming.
I'm in the middle of a book that's really good, and it deals a lot with Atari and the selling, and there's a lot of quotes from Nolan Bushnell. And
you got to say that one quote. That one quote's priceless.
It's not going to be the exact quote because I don't have it on me, but basically, it's going to be a paraphrase. Basically, I believe it was Al Alcorn.
Yes, it was.
His daughter came home from school and was talking about how there's I think a girl or boy in her class, and so and so says that their daddy Nolan Bushnell invented Pong, and Al Alcorn says to his daughter to say to the daughter in class, if that's true, then how come your dad always has my dad fix the machines?
Or was it fix his machine or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. It's funny, but there's a lot about, I think it's called The Ultimate Game History.
And there's so many great ones that are out there. I gotta read up.
It's the thick one. Norman from Gaming Historian, in one of his older intro videos, during the introduction, during the complete brain fart, but during the beginning of the video when it plays the music and all that, he holds up a copy of it. It was actually Gary at ACAM who told me about the book when I was there for the interview. He had Scott's copy that he borrowed. Mm-hmm. He asked if I ever read it, and I'm like, I saw it, but I never picked it up, so I bought it on the Kindle for like $8 and haven't put it down yet.
I just can't believe how many great books that there's out there now about all these different stuff in video games. I remember when a little kid going to the Sachem Public Library on Long Island and renting taking out, I think it was called Screenplay, The Story of Video Games. Mm-hmm. And that's another book that, it's written for kids, and it's all Nolan Bushnell.
Yeah.
Nothing about friggin', the brown box, nothing about...
Well, that's what's good about this book. This book, it lightly touches on Ralph Baer and basically kind of saying he's the father of video games. Mm-hmm. There's another quote, and apparently I think this was in the 90s or mid-90s. Ralph Baer and Nolan Bushnell crossed paths, and Nolan Bushnell had a friend with him, and he introduced Ralph Baer to his friend as I think the father of video games, something
Yeah.
like that. And Ralph Baer said to Nolan Bushnell, he said, "Geez, I really wish you would have said that back when the newspaper reporters were interviewing us,
Yeah.
because there's a whole turmoil back and forth between
Oh
the
yeah.
two of them,
Bad blood.
but
So
but not as bad as you think." Now, I was to transition back to the main topic so that we don't miss out on the topic again, and this turns into the book podcast.
yes. So, as some of you may have heard, Gerard now lives, he's a transplant from Long Island, instead of going down south to Florida like many of us do.
I'm a dumbass that goes north to the cold.
You go up for, no, even more cold, even more snow. And people are like, I've had this shit, I'm going to Florida. And everybody else. So, Gerard moves up to New Hampshire, so it's not like, no, I moved there to get close to the fun spot, so I won't play video games. No, basically, we were talking about, like, in, like, the states of America, like, the big video game arcade things, because everybody knows with Twin Galaxies that, Walter Day got the proclamation to say that Ottumwa, Iowa is the video game capital of the world. Friggin' flyover state.
I'm sorry. I'm still laughing because if you think about it's being called the video game capital of the world because that's where Twin Galaxies Arcade was, and that's where Twin Galaxies and competitive gaming was born from. And that's great. There's a lot of contributions in the early ages for high scores and competitions. You have Major League Gaming probably wouldn't be around if Twin Galaxies didn't do that. That's awesome. But when I think of a video game capital, it has to have, to me, one of two things. Either be loaded with video game manufacturers and programmers and designers, or be loaded with arcades, pinball parlors, all virtual media type places, buildings, businesses, even loaded with game stores. That's what I think for video game capital. Not a place that, if I remember correctly, there is no arcade right now in that
town. It closed down years ago.
I mean, I know that, but it's not like there's another one that opened up or there's an arcade with a different name there.
It's like this arcade really, and I have to ask Tim McVeigh if there's any. I think Star World's arcades in Iowa. I think that would be the closest second bet.
Yeah.
Pac-Man Pat puts on a really good stuff there over at Star World's arcade. I'll splice as Gerard and I were talking about wrestling. I can't. I watch too much OSW that I have to say splice. Here's a photo of Star World's Pac-Man Pat. Really nice guy. Follow him on Facebook and stuff. Really nice guy. With like real video game capitals of America. You have Los Angeles, of course. You got all the Atari started there. You got all the great fighting game arcades, like the Round One that just started opening up. Sunnyvale Golfland, all those other great places that just were bouncing like insane in the 90s. Then I would go Chicago, obviously, because you had Midway, you had Williams, you had the video game, all the Mortal Kombat, you had Pac-Man, go online, see videos of them making Pac-Man machines. It's absolutely insane. Yep. And then, you got the largest arcade in the world, Galloping Ghost, is there. That's what I really want to have Guinness World Records get some of the Japanese arcades that they have, and really, I want a real count. That's what I say. Nick from the Arcade Hunter says, I want a count. Physical games, I want to see who's got the most, because what Galloping Ghost does is they have the machines, but they have like one game will be two different games on a switcher. So they have Mega Man Power Battles, and then you flick a button and it puts on Mega Man Power Battle 2. So it's like, oh, but that's two games. But they still have a lot of games that not a lot of people have, especially all together under one roof. It's absolutely insane. Like, only place in the world you can play Primal Rage 2. Because I think like one version is on MAME. I don't know if it was ever dumped, but if you ever want to play it, that's the only place you can go. But then for New Hampshire, so We go to New Hampshire. We have the one that we've been talking about a lot.
Fun Spot.
Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
But if you're going, like if you're me and you're from New York and you're traveling your way up and you go through Massachusetts, and you got the guys from, I think it's Cambridge Lanes and Games, Cambridge, Mass. Mm-hmm. I'll have to ask my friends where that is. I think it pretty much is Cambridge. But once you get out of Massachusetts into the area of New Hampshire, you'll find a little place. Shit, where's damn it! I wish I could open my my thing to see where Pinball Wizard is.
It's in Pelham, New Hampshire.
Pelham, New Hampshire. I mean, like, not even like 20 minutes when you're out of you're off the state line. I mean, it's Bridge Street. You go over the bridge that connects the bridge from, one side is Massachusetts, the other side is New Hampshire. And then you're there. It's like, welcome to Pelham. So we got our friend Sarah St. John, who has one of the largest collections of video games on the East Coast, and I mean pinball machines, because, like, obviously we got the Pinball Hall of Fame in Las Vegas that has just an absolute ton, and the guys that did Arcade Expo this past weekend have a ton. And Sarah was she's told me stories like, if there's a movie theater next to where her place is, Pinball Wizard. She said, if that movie theater shut down and I had this entire real estate and I could have all of my games out all together, all running, I would be the largest arcade in the world, she said. That's how much stuff she's got. Not including the stuff that she has at home, which I've heard stories of, is just like, like, I've had people, some of my friends that said they've walked in there and, like, your mouth hits the floor. Like original, I think she's got like a Humpty Dumpty and a baffle ball and stuff like that. She goes back with, and then like the top tier, Williams games she goes. But there's another arcade.
Oh, I just want to say, in Pinball Wizards, according to Orcade.com, has 357 games.
Yep.
That's quite
Arcade's usually the best place to go. Dave likes to keep things up to date. I mean, whenever friggin' Doc makes an announcement on Facebook, like, hey guys, we added in another game, like that. It's like, it goes dink, and they update the game counter. So you get, I guess we would say, Fun Spot all the way up to the north.
Yep, and that's 403 games currently.
All the way down south, you've got Pinball Wizard. What's in the middle? Well, in the middle, there's another town called, and we're going to get it right, Nashua, New Hampshire. We were pronouncing it Nashua. And the locals,
Nashua.
Yeah, the locals got it. It's like, no, it's like Nashville, Nashua. I'm like, I apologize. There's another place, and Gerard, tell them the name of it, because we were waiting 2 episodes to talk about it.
It's Funworld in Nashua, New Hampshire. And
Funworld in Nashua, New Hampshire.
Now, going back probably, was it maybe 10 years ago?
Yeah, it's got to be 10 now.
Like 10 years ago, back when the Press Star comic website was in its heyday. Somehow, I think it might have been you, Nick, got word of, was it you or was it Craig?
No, it was me. It was me.
Got word of an arcade.
Craig just drove. Craig didn't hear about jack shit. This is all me, baby.
Got word of an arcade that had a Galaxian 3.
Galaxian 3. Yes, the largest mass-produced arcade game ever made.
Which is a theater game. I believe it has 6 seats and guns in it for 6 players. The game is so freaking big. It has a specified entrance and a specified exit. And it was made to churn people in and out. So you'd go in the entrance, you pay your probably $5 at the time, play the game. The big theater had rumble seats and everything, surround sound, and walk out. So that got us there. And then there was also some DDR stuff there. Some of the Bimani games. So we're like, okay, we have to stop here.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like...
I went on the website, and that was like The website better be updated now.
Oh,
I'm not going to start typing.
it is updated. It's
Oh,
changed.
thank God.
The Galaxian Theater is not the first thing you see. It's
Yeah,
kind of it's buried in the pictures.
because basically think of like an Alta Vista web crawler, Angel Fire type of site.
Yeah,
With like the scrolling.
It's still kind of like that.
Mm.
It's just updated.
Very low resolution digital camera photos. So it said that this place is like, we have over 200 games, and we're in Nashua, New Hampshire, and like, oh, we're too like I go on a MapQuest at the time. Oh boy, before Google Maps had this shit together.
And we see it's almost on the way to Fun Spot.
Oh yeah,
we gotta fucking stop there. We gotta play. We were so hardcore. We would drive through 3 states to play a Galaxian 3. This is like we were
gonna go up to Fun Spot anyway,
but
it was on the way.
Yeah, but even if Fun Spot didn't exist, we still would have gone up to Funworld to play Galaxian 3, especially because they're advertising 3 floors and a ton of other games. So
indoor carousel, indoor roller coaster.
So we would, and that's what we used to do back in the day. We would search
and gas prices were cheaper, but now they're going down now. So
back in the day, we would search online trying to find and talk to people, try to find an arcade location, any that had some type of standout, and then we'd make a road trip there. Whether it was going up to New Hampshire, going down to Jersey, you and Craig have gone to Pennsylvania. We've gone all over, and then of course the city in Long Island.
So Tokyo Game Action.
In Massachusetts. Yep, that's right, Massachusetts.
That was from I think it was Chris. I'm pretty sure of his name. At what was it? At NABA, Digital Press told us.
Yes, it was.
Goes, oh, you haven't heard of Tokyo Game Action? And thank God I had a phone that I could actually text myself. And I said, Tokyo Game Action. And I looked up and went, holy shit, how come we haven't gone here?
He said Japanese games, and I was like, oh, we gotta go there if they have Japanese. It's like I had just gotten back. I had just gotten back from living in Japan. I've been dying to play more Japanese games.
I miss the food.
Yeah. Oh God, yes.
I want Richard Bagman's Powerful Chicken. Shout outs to Chia and Andy. Chia and Andy. I'll send this to them. They'll probably listen to it. I'll say, we dropped the half-hour mark, and I mentioned your name.
And the curry.
Chia's
homemade curry was really...
So it's Japanese curry. It's not Indian curry.
Yeah.
Sometimes Indian curry just does... I like it, but it doesn't like me. And the thing why I like Japanese curry, it's mild.
So we get I'm going to jump back. So we get all amped up to see a Galaxian 3, and we were realists. I remember
you've never seen it.
No,
I was the. Here's the thing: I was the only person that had played this machine. I went up to Niagara Falls, and I don't know why my father said, "Let's stay on the New York side," and the New York side's a friggin' dive. We go on to the Canada side, and it's just like tourist trap heaven. Ripley's Believe It or Not, and.
Casinos.
So is Wax Museum.
Arcades, casinos. It's like a mini Vegas.
So I think there was I have this one girl named Sarah that contacts me on Facebook, and she's trying to look up places that have the Sega R360.
And
I told her, I said, there was this arcade. There was 2 arcades that I went to in Canada when I was in Niagara Falls. Or I went to multiple arcades in Niagara Falls. It was pretty insane because it was at that sweet spot in the 90s, the early 90s, when there was just I thought, oh my God, this trip is going to suck. I'm like, oh my God, look at all these arcades. I had to keep begging for money so I could, no, I don't want any souvenirs. Look what this place has. I want to play games, and it sucked. I didn't get to play the R360 because the attendant wasn't there at the time. But there was this one place. It looked like kind of like a Sky Needle or something like that.
Yeah.
And the inside had 4 games. It had one video game that I totally forgot. I think it had WWF Royal Rumble Pinball, Data East, Guns N' Roses, and then the Galaxian 3. And I'm sitting there looking at that. I'm like, what the hell is this? And I went inside and I look on the thing and I see, it's like $5 a play.
Mm-hmm.
No continues, and it's meant as like a theater experience. Like they get everybody, you get like 5 people or 6 people in there, and you all pay, and you try to beat the whole thing.
Yeah.
So sorry about that, but
no, that's
so I think it was during one of the tournaments that we did it. We went a day earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So we said we're gonna hit this place. So we hit up Funworld. So
yep, we drove down from, I believe we were staying in Concord.
Yep.
We drove down from Concord there to go, and we're amped up for Galaxy. And then we were realists. We knew that this is old technology. It's been around for a while. It's a big theater. Some of the stuff,
it's a Laserdisc game.
It's a Laserdisc game. Some of the stuff might not be working, but we figured it had to be at least decent because Funworld at the time, that was the main thing on their website. When you went to their website and you hit games, a huge ass picture, boom, popped up. We have Galaxian 3. And now that picture on their website is kind of small and buried amongst a whole bunch of other pictures. And if you zoom in, it's kind of funny. They had a sign hanging on hanging from the railing that you could see below the floor. Now, what was the other name for Galaxian 3? Was it Zolgar or Zolgar?
Rise of the Zolgia.
So there's a sign that says Zolgear with 2 arrows pointing up and the word theater. Another sign that says theater under it. So there's a big sign with arrows pointing up to the 3rd floor. It says Zolgear Theater. Mm-hmm. So this was a huge deal. So we're amped up. And you look at the pictures. There's tons of games. The outside looks like a friggin' castle. It's multiple floors. We have fairly high expectations. And we make the trip, and we get there, and
floor one's all redemption.
Yeah, first off, when we get there, the outside, the parking lot's kind of rough looking. It looks almost like the old Smiles in Connecticut, like grass growing through and stuff like that. It's just like, what the fuck is this?
It gave me a Spaceplex type of vibe of just like, when was the last time someone paved this parking lot?
Yeah, and then the building was looking a little rough. It's like, huh. So then we go in, and when you
you can see it right off the street. It looks like a giant castle.
Yeah, but then when you park, you can't find the entrance. Yeah. We're like walking around. I remember because you walk onto the side, and it's like a side door. It's like, is this the main entrance? I guess. And you walk in, and when you walk in, to your right are those Capcom bowling lanes.
Yep, Bolingo.
Yep, and then there's a snack bar, and you wander around this maze of redemption games, and to the left is this weird, I think, 2-story kiddie playground area, and it just has that. It's weird because when you're in the snack bar, as you're walking in past the snack bar, they have when you look up, they have weird mirrors up that reflect with these not old, but like 90s Home Depot chandeliers. And it's just like, what the fuck? It's like, are they trying to go for like a Crystal Palace look? It's like, and then the counter's like an old peeling linoleum linoleum counter with like.
It kind of reminded me of before 8 on the Break updated theirs.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like the whole thing was falling apart like a linoleum.
Yeah, it was like that type of counter, but you can have a place that looks like that but still deliver. And the problem at this point was like at the snack bar, the food was not good at all.
Yeah.
But so we're wandering around the redemption, looking around. So then the weirdest thing, there's like random staircases.
Yeah.
Like literally spiral staircases that go up to the 2nd floor. And the layout is just a hodgepodge.
Oh yeah.
It's like someone just slowly added on just random ridiculous things.
They shotgun blasted games out. They just loaded it with games on. Let's see what sticks.
Yeah, so we go up to the 2nd floor, and it just at the time, it was just random games everywhere. One area was kind of driving games, but they were just kind of tossed in. And then
in varied conditions of working.
Yep. And you go, and then you're walking on the 2nd floor, and you get to a railing, and you're looking at the top of the carousel. And it's just like, okay, why the fuck would it's open for the carousel, but why would you have it open at the floor? So it's like you can walk and you can look down at the top of the carousel. It's like, oh, that's a carousel. And then in the back corner on that floor was the roller coaster, but really tucked away in the back in the dark. And it had
Yeah.
like it had like these. If I vaguely remember, it had like these. I think it had horrible little set pieces, almost like stuff you'd buy for your yard, just kind of sitting in the middle of the roller coaster for you to
They
look
had like
at.
a super fun happy slide like you get at the
I
county fair.
I think so. It was just a mess. And
I mean,
then
like they did have stuff on the second floor was kind of laid out. They did have a small fighting game area. They
yep,
had a time crisis area. I mean, every time
like an
crisis.
air. Yep, and
They had
they
every
did
time crisis 1, 2, 3, and 4. They probably got. I don't think 4 was out at the time. I think it was
no.
just 1, 2, 3.
And they did have, and they had
And they had the ninja one.
yep, and they had
I mean,
some.
it's been a while since I went there because I remember the first thing that I saw when we went up the stairs was they had just gotten in Wangan Midnight,
Yep,
and there was a big sign on it saying like, "Oh, we're gonna have games, we're gonna have races and stuff like that."
they had some racing games and stuff in one area. One area that was kind of organized, but it was just like a weird maze. It wasn't very neat, and there wasn't very good flow to it. And then you go up to the third floor, and the third floor is very small.
Yeah.
And the only thing up on the third floor in the one top area is the Galaxian 3.
Yeah.
Then there are some pinball tables on one side, and then there is the Bimani.
And a couple of fighting games, scam fighting games over on the
Oh
side.
yeah.
They did have the grid the first time that we went there.
Yes, they did. But it was just a weird layout. It wasn't nothing like the site made it appear to be. And it was just very kind of chaotic how it was set
Walking
up.
around, this is weird.
It's like, what the fuck is this? And there's kids running around and stuff like that. The carpet.
I was just sitting there like, how the hell are they? Everything that you get up the stairs is through spiral staircases, and meanwhile there's a Dance Dance Revolution machine on the third floor. So it's like, this got to be like a freight elevator that takes all the stuff upstairs. Like, how the hell did they get all the pieces for the Galaxian up there? It doesn't make any sense. And I was watching the video of Darth Bruno in the Netherlands. He has a Galaxian 3 that he's built. He dismantled and put it back together. He made like a section of his house. It's just like you walk in and it's like a special room that he built just for it because he's a huge Laserdisc game fan. And I'm just like, how the hell did they get this up here and put it together? It's insane.
Now, am I mistaken? Didn't they also have an escalator?
I don't. Yeah, I think maybe
in one spot they had a.
You were there more recently than I was.
I think in one spot they had a random.
I'm going in very cold with this topic, unfortunately.
I think at one spot they had a weird. I think in one area they have a very weird, like narrow escalator. It was something weird like that. It was just such a weird setup. Yeah. So we get some tokens, and we go. Oh, and the rug is like horrendous.
Yeah.
It not to bash
chewing gum, soda.
Not to bash
all the other human bodily fluids in that character.
Not to bash Fun Spot, but it makes Funworld's rug makes Fun Spot's rug look brand new.
Oh my god.
I mean, it was that bad.
Because that was the thing that, like, a lot of people when they watch the Fun Spot videos, they say, first thing is, where's Marvel? And you tell them about the kid that smashed his hand going through the fighting games, and it's like, where's the dance games? Where's the Bimani? I was just like, have you ever seen what their rugs look like? Like, huh? Like, go up there during the winter time when everybody's coming in from the snow and they have all the sand and the salt coming off their feet. Like, oh wow, I'm gonna go there and play Dance Dance. It'd be so much salt and corrosion in those machines, it would be dead in a week.
But it was.
That's why when you go up on, I remember when you went up to Funworld, they had the Dance Dance Revolution machines. They had friggin' things to wipe your feet off of.
Yep.
Like little house mats. Remember the old green, textured house mats with like
the green ones.
Flower. like the little flower that you're supposed to, wipe your feet on.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, that's the kind of thing that they had to have up there because they were just afraid of all the sand on those games.
I just loaded up the old Funworld video. The
Yeah,
last
there's
video.
3 of them.
Yeah.
The one that you did.
Yeah. So the original, our first time there, we were not impressed at all. We go and we play the Galaxian, and it's
it was what a toilet.
It should be shut off. The picture should be taken off the site. Fucking guns weren't working.
Just like, I'm sitting there like, you have this on your site as like, oh, how you doing?
Oh, sorry.
Like, you're what?
Get some jelly beans.
Stop getting some jelly beans, Patty. Do what I do. Have a bottle of Poland Spring and crack it as your. That's what the people want to hear. So, I wish I had maybe the Internet Wayback Machine will work. I'll have to test it and see if I can get the old version of the Funworld site. Because, I mean, when you went on there, it was like the showcase of we're the only people in New Hampshire, maybe even in the Northeast, that have this game. Like, touting it. Saying how they have it. It's the only place that you can play it. The largest arcade game ever made, Galaxian 3, is here, and you can only play it at Funworld. And you walk inside, and you're just like, holy shit. This is a fucking toilet. So, if you haven't seen... Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say, guns weren't working.
Well, I'm going to run down the list.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
This is coming from a guy that has played the original. I've never gotten to play Attack of the Zolgear, which is the upgrade unit. When it came out, it was simply Galaxian 3. And then the upgrade is Attack of the Zolgear. And then on the PlayStation 1, it comes with the original, and I think the sequel on the PlayStation, it's PlayStation exclusive, is called Rise of Glorb. Glorb or something like that. Glorb. I got it for $5.
Now this is how hardcore we were. You and I went over your house and we played that fucking game before we went up there.
Oh yeah, I went on Amazon, I went on eBay, and I said, "Holy shit! They released it on the PlayStation, Galaxian 3." I mean, that was like the highlight thing. I said, "It's not going to live up to it because you have to play it in the theater. That's the experience. Is you're playing in the theater. It's loud. It's you got like there's actors that are screaming at you. No, we have to look out. No, the asteroids are coming towards us." I was like, this is not going to translate. But I looked at the price. It was like, buy it now, $5. Like, shipping 3 from Japan. I was just like, less than $10? And they said, the freaking game's like 4.5 minutes long. And there's two games, so there's basically, 8 minutes of gameplay. I said, okay, I paid $1 a minute for it. There you go.
Yep.
So I get it, and I play it, and I was like, oh, that's cool. It's not as fun as I remember, but, you have to be, if you're playing multiplayer with a whole ton of people.
Yeah, we're using PlayStation controllers and stuff.
For people that have not gotten to play the game, I'll splice a photo in of Starblade from Namco. More people have played Starblade, obviously. If you play Tekken 5 on the PlayStation 2, it's the game that starts and boots up. It's like kind of like I would say would be Namco's equivalent to Star Fox as an arcade game. And this is just like kind of like a multiplayer version of Starblade. Like, you're not controlling you're not controlling the ship that you're in. You're the gunnery on the machine that you're controlling all the guns. And that's why it's a FMV and it just keeps going. So first off, the machine is supposed to have curtains on it because it's using an old, RGB green, yellow, red projector. So the machine does not have the curtains on it. So there's glare.
The curtains on the doors.
Yeah.
Because there's two doors. They're maybe 2.5 feet, 3 feet wide. Yep. One on the left for entering, one on the right for exiting.
Yep. No curtains on the doors at all. So all the light bleeds in. The images look crappy. The thing is, it uses 2 laser discs that run in tandem, and and it uses two what do you call it? Two of the displays.
Yep.
One
So,
of the
so,
displays.
so the way it works is, if you're looking at the theater screen that's in there, the left side is one laser disc, the right side's another laser disc player, and they're supposed to be projecting at the same time to make one cohesive image.
Yep.
And what did we get, Nick?
You got 1 1/4 of it. Like the one on the left was working, the one on the right was like barely visible. It was blinking. It was dim. And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna play it. Put my quarters. They asked, what was it, 6 or 7 credits?
I think so.
We'll say 7. Let's say 7. Lucky number 7. Put 7 credits in. I don't hear like barely any music. There's one speaker in the entire theater that works, and it's like the speaker that's on the bottom right. Because I mean, this thing is supposed to immerse you in sound. It is loud when it fully works. So I was like, oh my god, like 3 speakers in this thing work, and then I start playing.
I'm sorry. I'm watching the video from when I was there last, and like almost every gun is out of order, and half the right side of the screen's working, not the left.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, so it was the left side. Yeah, the left side was the one going wrong. I'm sorry. I thought it was the right.
No, I think it was the right when we went. This is. I went back like 7 years.
Well, I think later. I have 2 videos, but I don't think I was able. That was when I was really cursing my camera. That was when the camera was dying, and I finally got an updated camera because I had charged it at the hotel, and I got the second floor, and as soon as I went upstairs, and I get into the Galaxian 3, it died, and you just hear me go, "Fuck!" Like just screaming at this, and like a little kid's walking by. I was like, "Oh, I gotta tone it down." I was like, "Well, they're not gonna get a video of the Galaxian." I figured that I would sit in the Galaxian, hold the camera in one hand, and play the game one-handed, so they could see what it was like. I was like, oh man, I had so many ideas of how many videos I was going to take, because at the time there was like next to nothing on Galaxian 3 online. I mean, now you can go online. There's, it's been emulated, so people have like an emulated version of it that has like the full sound and stuff like that. Not for me. So the whole thing is the guns in the game have force feedback and stuff like that, and they also light up.
And the seat rumbles too.
Well, when you get shot, no, not just the seat, the entire theater.
Yeah.
The entire theater, like they have it. The audio cues from the like the co-pilot, like the woman starts screaming, "We're being hit. We have heavy damage." Like that, and like the whole thing is just supposed to go crazy. And I was just like, there's none of it. Absolutely none of it. There's nothing to it. I'm just sitting there like, I played through half of the game, and I just got up and I said, this thing deserves so much better, and I got up and I walked out. And I was up there playing pinball, and I noticed I saw these 2 kids walk in. They put their 7 credits in. They didn't even last a minute. They go, this is fucking shit. This thing doesn't even work. And they got up and they ran out. And I was just like, and the second time we went, they were still charging the same price. And it still didn't work. And that's like the thing that I was saying with like a lot of arcades. There's some arcades that, when a game goes down, they're truthful, they're honest. They shut the game off. They put the little Fix-It Felix out of order sign.
Yep.
Those things are very popular now. I know. Adam from Game Grid in Utah uses it, and Ken uses it at the at pretty much both of the Yestercades in New Jersey. He uses the I'm out of order. See me tomorrow.
Hit the little cartoon arcade machine with a nice
from
pack.
From Wreck-It Ralph. So. No, there's these other places like we go to Bullwinkle's or Boomers now in Long Island where, no, we're just going to leave the game on. And maybe we'll mark it down to just 25 cents instead of 50 cents.
You're getting half the game, so we'll charge you half the price.
Yeah. So, like, I remember going to friggin' Boomers. I'm like, wow, Virtual Cop 1. I have not played this game in I don't know how many years. let's take a trip down memory lane. Wow. I put the gun up directly to the plexiglass. Did not register. I turn the gun and I look at it. No, I point the gun in my eye, like I'm trying to commit some suicide, and I'm like, wow, this thing is completely shattered. I was like, I should have looked at the gun before I started playing it. I've never had to have this problem with any light gun game that I've ever played. This is bullshit. And that's why, even though at the time we were still doing, we were doing press start, I didn't do the video of boomers, and I think it's Lindenhurst. I think it is.
I think
Long Island.
I think so.
And Craig and I went there again one time without you, and I was just like, I brought the camera with me, and I was saying to Craig, I was just like, now I'm going to use more Irish from OSW. The state of your arcade, I was like, even if I did a full bashing video saying about how bad the place was, I don't even want to give you guys any publicity. I don't even want to let people know you exist. I said, this is terrible. I turned it off and I walked out.
And that basically sums up Funworld when we went. The Galaxian Theater was completely shot. It was unplayable. You couldn't see half the game. It shouldn't have been on. Yeah. Then, as we went, we tried to play a little Initial D and Wangan Midnight, and those are fucked up too. Those weren't working right.
Oh, the steering wheels were awful.
The steerings are fucking.
There was like a few locals there, and they knew, like, they were laughing at us because, like, you try to play, like, the second and third player unit, like, those don't work. You have to use 1 and 2.
Yep. And that was almost every game there. Every game, they had some really cool ass games, and they just weren't working.
Atari's T-Mech they had. Like, oh, wow, I love this game. Wow, there's 2 T-Mechs in the state of New Hampshire. How about that? If they still have it, I doubt it, but...
And fighting games, buttons were not working. Pinball, you had flippers.
Oh my god, pinball
was awful. So it's this giant place. And the best way to describe the feeling and atmosphere in there, it's like going into a dingy flea market.
Yeah.
It just has that hodgepodge.
It was better. I've been to some better flea markets on the island.
Well, that's why I said dingy flea market. It had that hodgepodge kind of shit everywhere feeling, kind of not that clean. It was just awful. Then I remember they had a shmup there where I forgot the name of it. You were a helicopter. And it's kind of like Under Defeat, how the helicopter switches when you go left and right, how it kind of turns.
Yeah, I have some friends that probably know. I vaguely remember it.
I remember loving.
I think it was a Cyclo shooter.
Yeah, I think so. I remember. I loved that game.
What was the second one next to it? They had a Capcom one. I don't think it was Dymahu.
No, I don't think. I was thinking Dymahu, but I don't think it was.
It was. I think it was like Viper SG1.
Yeah, yeah.
Because there was 2 next to each other, and they were just completely. Those worked, and they were fun to play because I was like, "Holy shit, this is really cool."
I found some. It's like,
I know the helicopter one I never played before until then.
It's like, holy shit!
I forgot. It's like I remember, and then it was like I don't think it was Game Ground. I don't know if Game Ground's the one that they just got in at.
I believe whatever game it was one of the games that was a big influence on Under Defeat.
Yeah.
Is it? Do you pronounce the company G-Rev or Grev?
I've heard them pronounce it both ways.
Okay.
The Japanese I've heard they used to say Grev.
Grev made Under Defeat, which is one of my favorite shmups, and this was one of the games that influenced. If I remember correctly, this is one of the games that influenced Grev because it had that kind of swinging helicopter control.
Anyway, I gotta go put that in my PlayStation after we do this. I haven't played that in a long time. Got the HD remix.
Yep. So anyway, we found a couple games we liked, but overall it was just a huge letdown. It was just a dirty...
Oh, there was so many more games that they had there that you're just like, man, if this place... If for every arcade that has that many games, it's the same complaint that I hear with Fun Spot. It's the same complaint that I hear with Galloping Ghost and with Sarah's. There's too many games for them to take care of.
Now, what makes this... What kills this place is they have some of the amazing big ride type, somewhat ride simulator type games. Like they have like Jumbo Safari.
Mm.
They have
Did they have Lucky and Wild?
No, they didn't. I don't think they have Lucky One. What's the river? Is it River Rapid? The one with the oars?
Yeah, it's Namco River Rapid.
Yep. And then the
Rapid River.
Rapid River, and then the what's the pedal one?
Prop Cycle.
I mean, they had all these big ass games that you never see anywhere because they're too big for most smaller places to have them. They have like Wave. They have like the
Wave Runner.
Wave Runner. Yep. Daytona.
I think they had Alpine Skier.
Yep, they did. They also Rush. A couple of Rush games. I mean, they had. It was just.
They had like the
Hydro Thunder. I mean, they had all.
Hydro Thunder. That's say it right.
Yep, it was like all the big.
That's how bad I am with a lot of these games. Is I'll look at the game and I don't say, "Here's Hydro Thunder from Midway." I know I have to say Hydro Thunder, or you don't say Sega Super GT. It's Sega Super GT.
They actually have.
Let's go to Arcade. He should be more updated than their official site.
Well, I know. I'm trying to go on what they had. I'm trying to look at the old video.
They probably had Motor.
I think they had Alpine Surfer.
Yeah.
Yep, they had that. I mean, they had, of course, Top Skater, all those games, but most of them did not work. They were busted. No. It was like it's like, hey, remember all these awesome games from when you were a kid? All these awesome games from the 90s? We have them. Come play them. You go to play them, it's like, these are shit. They're not fucking working.
Remember these awesome beat-em-ups? Remember these awesome fighting games?
Yep.
Yeah, we do too, and they don't work.
It was just a huge letdown. And just awful place. Now, in 2013, I went back there and I did a walkthrough video. That's up online. From what
for all you guys that are listening to this on YouTube, I'm gonna link every episode that we've done or every walkthrough from Funworld. There should be 3 of them.
Awesome. So the most recent one that I did, this was in 2013. It almost seemed like someone else took over. Because there were some improvements, more games were working. The pinball, they had some of the newer pinball, and they had AC/DC pinball and stuff like that, and that was in good working order. The
guys putting that one in.
The Galaxian Theater is still shit, but they actually have a bunch of out of order signs on all the busted guns. But it just seemed like the organization was a little better. It seemed like there was more prep and care going on with the games. Seems like there's a big turnaround as far as maintenance. And I remember when I did the video, and I believe I was a little harsh on it, but there were some comments that came through. Some people.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to get onto YouTube now.
I got it right here.
Okay, good. Because I think we got found by some of the people that work at Funworld.
Yeah.
Because just go onto the thing and you can put the just type in Funworld. All 3 of them should pop up.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of people saying we'd like this. They're saying disappointed about the Galaxian 3, but Beat Mania is good. Where is it?
Going into the YouTube video.
But there are some people.
Wow, we're at 1.5 million views. Thank you, everybody online.
Oh no! Now I remember. It was I can't believe I forgot his name. The guy that did Pinball Soul.
Oh yeah.
The Pinball Soul podcast.
Shit, I forgot his name. I'm so sorry.
Can't believe it, guys.
It's not Adam. Damn it.
But anyway,
Josh Blood.
Yeah. But anyway, he was.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's only 2 videos for Funworld.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the first one. Oh my, Jesus Christ.
What?
The first Funworld video has 56 comments on it.
But anyway, it seemed when I went back in 2013, they were doing. There was more maintenance. There was more care for the games. It was a good big step in the direction. It's still there's nothing you can do about that building. It's a 3-story mess as far as the layout. But at least the games are in better working order. there's still some ridiculous stuff. Like on one of the fighting games, while I was there, if you'll see my video, someone took the move strip sticker and stuck it right across the screen.
Yeah.
Just to be a dick.
And
And
the first one we did was in 2007. Let me see.
yeah, 2007.
2007. So, and then your other one was 2013.
Yep, and Josh said that because I believe he works in Nashua, and so occasionally on his break he'll pop over there to play some pinball. So at first it was funny because hearing him talk about the place on his podcast and saying how saying how my video is good, maybe just a hair harsh on them, but how he does go there and enjoys the pinball. So I'm hoping to get back there soon. Just check it out and see if they've kept up. I believe I overheard a rumor, someone saying that there was a new manager.
Yeah.
And that it was from one of the workers that was, I think
this one was from
it wasn't a comment. I think one of the workers sent us a private message through YouTube about it and saying how there's a new.
Those are all long gone.
Yeah, but saying how it's under new management and they've been trying to do this, and this, and
they probably watched the video.
Yeah, and years and years ago, it really just went to hell.
Yes, I'm gonna say the person's name. Keegan Whitelaw says, "Work there." ... ellipses. Right, that's what those are. Work there. Ellipses. Hate the place. Owners treats employees as slaves. Would not recommend going there unless it is the last, and I mean the last resort to find fun.
Is that from 2007?
That was from 7 months ago that he wrote that on a 7-year-old video.
Really? So maybe
this place is very clean now. The renovations are coming along nicely, and the staff is doing a great job. And they are always helpful and polite to me. From what I hear, they are doing more work, and the place is going to look immaculate. That was 5 years ago. 6 years ago, someone said, this place used to be so cool. They used to have a lot of retro games that you wanted. Now everything is either racing or light gun shooters. Before they put all that kitty crap in there, it used to be 2 floors of retro game greatness. The only place I ever saw Badlands, Firefox, and the 6-player X-Men. I could go on and on about how great this place, and in all caps, used to be.
And how old was that one?
That was from 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Now let's see, because it got a lot of people that what do you call it? White Knights.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, I haven't been up there in over 10 years. I remember walking up the staircases. Someone put the place is pretty nice. I just wish they'd fix it up more often. I heard they were going through reservations. Last time the sound on Miss Pac-Man was broken. Let's see. So I know I answered some people back. But people saying like they never knew that Galaxian 3 was that rare.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about playing Guitar Freaks. It mixes in with a lot. Like this one person says, I do not agree with a lot of these comments. The place has been updated and the staff was helpful. It was wrong to say that these games do not work. That is a lie. No, you work for Funworld. I never said anything in any of the video about the staff not being helpful. As a matter of fact, I don't even think we bothered with any of the staff. So that person has to work there. Yeah, 0 subscribers. Let's see how long. Oh wow, the person actually. Wow, the person actually does exist on there. He comments on model trains. He's commenting on everything is model trains, and 5 years ago, and then he says about how I'm lying about the state of the games, even though when you're watching the video, the proof is in the pudding, and you can see all the games are shut off, and I'm not going up and playing them, so you can't.
But again, you have to discount his comment was made his comment was made 5 years ago, so that was a few years after the video.
I have some fond memories of playing Galaxian 3 when it was brand new.
Mm-hmm.
People getting up my ass because I didn't mention Star Wars Trilogy Arcade in a arcade with over 200 games. I forgot to mention the one game. People yelling about the way that I
talk.
Pronounce Nashua. I said Nashua. And guess what? Guess what, guys? I'm gonna call it Nashua for the rest of the podcast. Fuck you. Let's see what else. So yeah, I live 15 minutes away from there. It's the best arcade I've ever been to.
You gotta drive more than 15 minutes, buddy. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's awesome! Like Nuno commented on the video. He says, "Because if you come to Bel," he says, "Nice video. If you ever come to Belgium, you're more than welcome to play my Galaxian 3." He said.
Yeah, so
it's like, I would just give me a fucking ticket to Belgium. Everybody do a Patreon. Get Nick to Belgium so I can play his Galaxian 3 and get a real video of it.
So hopefully, when I went there last 2013, it was better than 2007. Hopefully, it's continued. I should be going there within the next year. I'll definitely do an update video. It's hard. It's so hard to do a friggin' video there, which you can see in my video. There's so many cuts because you end up walking in circles, and you're trying to take a video, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, what? There. What's with this? Like, there's a 5 foot wide opening that you walk through, and all of a sudden there's a whole nother section. It's like, are you fucking kidding me?
And the thing is, like, that was on my old Kodak EasyShare camera. That was before we had the whole blessing of HD videos. I mean, I could go there and take a video with my, I guess 5-year-old now iPod Touch, and it would look, 1,000 times better. But there's one last comment that I want to read. This guy's got to be a FGC guy because I see the, he says, "This place sucks. Because the staff treat gamers like shit and don't give a damn about their machines. It pisses me off when I see good Bimani games go to hell. Pads are always fucked. They got Wangan 2 and 3 since this has been filmed, and they let them go to hell. Which really pisses me off if you put the car in the 5th or 6th gear, it automatically goes into neutral. The wheel is so fucking loose. Fuck them. Meanwhile, awesome arcades like Tokyo Game Action go under, while places like Funworld still remain. WTF.
And that's a great way to end this podcast.
Oh, there we go, right there. So, folks, hopefully you liked another one of our classics of going down memory lane, talking about another arcade from our past. Hopefully, I'll be able to make another trek up there soon, but when Joel and I are going up to Fun Spot, I always say to him, I've told him about Funworld, and I showed him the 2 videos that we did, and he's just like, you'd rather go there instead of going to see Sarah. And I was like, point taken. Let's go to Sarah's. Because we hit Sarah's up twice. We go up there the first day that we go up there, and we just tell the hotel, we're gonna be late. Like that. Don't expect us anytime in the afternoon. Expect us at night. We go to Sarah's, and then we go Sarah's. We leave early on Sunday, so we can go to Sarah's. I'm like, fuck this place. I'm not staying for a award presentation when I'm never gonna win anything. So as always, folks, thank you so much for listening. You can find us on all of your favorite social media platforms. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on the Tumblr. We're on the Twitter. The Twitter. And you can find us on thearcadehunters.com. If you're listening to us over on iTunes, please give us a rating. It'll help people find the podcast easier that are into this type of stuff. If you're listening to us over on YouTube, please give the video a nice thumbs up and leave a comment. I just want to have a comment put, my name is, and you can put the name of your channel. My name is Awesome Video Games 999. And I hereby state I listen to the full duration of this podcast. That'll be the thing. Put that every podcast. My name is blank, and I hereby pledge I listen to this whole podcast or something like that. And over on the YouTube channel, I just uploaded it tonight, is the look at the 3D Classics Afterburner 2. I
still need to pick that up.
Yep, came out on this past Thursday, and I was just like, I'm not waiting. I gotta put this up. This was oh my! They went and they recorded. They got a game out of storage. It looked like Sega has like a storehouse of all their games, and they took out the afterburner. And when you start the game, you hear like that. You hear like this thing. Hopefully you can hear that because I'm sitting farther away from the mic. But it's like a hum, and supposedly they show this girl opening up the coin door and shoving a microphone inside of the coin door, so they have a sound of it idling. And then they recorded the throttle going up and down, and they recorded the buttons on the trigger. Really, really cool stuff.
So. Awesome. So that will do it for episode 30.
All right, folks. Thanks for listening. We'll check it out next time here on the Arcade Hunters podcast. For my pal Gerard, I'm Nick. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
See you next time.
We interrupt the end of the podcast to bring you something special. Hey guys, this is Nick. If you're listening to the sound of my voice, you successfully made it to the end of the podcast. Thank you very much for listening. Now, as I said very quickly in the beginning, I had Gerard splice in a little bit of audio. When I was going through my computer to look for photos to splice in on the YouTube version of the podcast, I found an audio file that I didn't even know was still on my computer. And what you're going to hear coming up next is Gerard, our friend John, and myself as we left Funworld back in 2007. This is a raw audio file because I'm pretty sure this is before a lot of people coined the term podcast, so we called it an audio show called 8-Bit Bytes. This was back when we used to do Press Start Comic. So this is real live audio from 2007, like not even 10 minutes after we left Funworld for the very first time. So all of the impressions are really fresh, and unfortunately I get the name of the town wrong, but this was before I posted it on the YouTube channel, and I had everybody correct me. So let's hop in the Wayback Machine, go back to 2007, and let's hear what we thought about Funworld. Take it away, me. Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Nick from PressStartComic.com bringing you a very special audio review of Funworld, Nashua, New Hampshire. It's Sunday, October the 6th, and it's around 12:15. We just got out of there, and pretty much they had a lot of cool stuff. It was a 3-tiered arcade. Pretty cool. I'm in the car with John. Say hello.
Hello.
And I'm also in the car with Artist Extraordinaire, 2600. Say hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
And so, what would you guys say about the Funworld?
I think
Eh? John,
I'd say eh.
what would you give?
I give it eh as well.
So a double and it was alright. Because they had a large selection of more current games. You know, the upstairs was full of Dance Dance Revolution. They had Extreme, they had Fifth Mix, and they had In the Group 2. They also had Guitar Freaks and Drum Mania, which I put $1 into Guitar Freaks and the game crashed on me. It just turned black. So I didn't even get to play, and I didn't bother putting more money in it. They had every version of Time Crisis except for Time Crisis 1. They had Crisis Zone, but the screen wasn't...
No, I thought they had... I could have sworn I saw Time Crisis.
Yeah, I thought it was, but I think it was Crisis Zone. I looked at it.
Oh, okay.
I looked at it wrong. They had some shmups. They had Raiden... not Raiden, I'm sorry. Strikers 1945-3. And what was it? Zero Gunner?
Zero
Gunner from Cyclo. I think that's how you pronounce it. It looked pretty good. It was... I think it was running on Naomi.
I played a lot of it. It was a good game.
Yeah, it looked pretty good.
Very similar to Under Defeat.
Yes, I like Cyclo shooters. I think they're pretty good. That and I think they also did... Yeah, they did do Gunbird, right? Yeah, Gunbird 1 and 2. So. Yeah, that is Cyclo. Pretty much the reason why we came here was the comic that's up now... Oh, sorry.
Gunbird was Capcom.
Gunbird was published by Capcom on the Dreamcast.
Oh, okay.
They published it.
Oh, okay.
That's why Morgan was in it.
Oh, okay.
Published it.
Okay.
And the comic that's up now, as of October 6th, was the Kaban Heroes, which was, I wanted to do a comic about the end of arcades reviews, because one time I played Guitar Freaks in the arcade, someone said, that looks like a ghetto Guitar Hero, why can I play that when I can play the real thing at home? So I wanted to go look up pictures of a Guitar Hero cabinet, and I put it in on Google Image, and one of them that I looked up was a picture of two kids playing Guitar Freaks and Drum Mania. And I clicked on it, and it said, Funworld in Nashua, New Hampshire, and it's like, that's the town we go through to get up to Fun Spot. So I was like, I checked the place out, and it had more newer games, but the one game that set me off was Galaxian 3, which, if you haven't seen it, you probably haven't. It is one of the largest arcade games ever made by Namco in the 1990s. It's a 6-player simultaneous shooter game, and it runs on 2 Laserdisc players. And there was a sequel to it called Attack of the Zolgia that they had there, and it was upstairs on the 3rd floor along with the pinball machines. He also had the grid, 2-player grid, a couple of good fighting games, and that was about it. The problem was with Attack of the Zolgia, you know, it's old, so the screen had burn-in, and the music and the sound effects didn't work, so it was really boring.
So just clarify, Attack of whatever the Z word is. That's called Galaxian 3 in America,
yeah.
Right?
No, that's the name of the upgrade. There was Galaxian 3 Dolgla, something like that. It was like Attack of Dolgla, and then the next one that came out was Revenge of the Zolgia.
Okay.
So it was like a sequel that they would get an upgrade kit to keep the game going and people.
So it was the upgrade kit we played in the Galaxian 3
That's
theater.
the second one. That's the second one. Attack of the Zolgia.
So Galaxian 3-2.
Yes. 3.5.
3.5. Okay.
So you said you didn't like it that much.
It was fun, but it was very
generic. The thing is, it plays a lot like Starblade.
You have a gun, like a gun holster, like a turret gun, and you aim a crosshair cursor and hold the triggers down to shoot. You don't really get bombs. There are no really power-up weapons, and it just played like a generic shooter.
It was meant to be played with 6 people at the same time. You have like 6 friends in there, and the thing was, it was still $1.50.
Yeah.
I wish they would have knocked down the price, considering that some of the slots didn't work and it had no sound.
The price.
I would have knocked it down.
The price definitely should have been knocked down, especially because, as you can see, it wasn't like when I went up there before we left. There were about a full 6 people in there playing it. The other guns were working. The problem was the coin slot wasn't lit up. You couldn't find it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It wasn't so dark in there.
Yeah. Anyway, you can kind of tell that this game's not the money maker. It's kind of pushed off in the 3rd floor corner.
It's a rarity.
There's no doors covering the entrance and the exit to make it dark, because you can tell it's meant to be like a theater. 6 people walk in, sit down, play. When they're done, they get up, they walk out.
Yeah.
That's why there's no continuing. You can't jump it into the middle of the game, and it's pretty obvious because it's made to just get people in, play, get them out, and bring them
Yes, the whole game lasts 8 minutes. If you go online on YouTube, I haven't favorited the full version of the game. Like, there's 4 people in Japan that sat down and played it, and it has all the music and the sound effects that you didn't get. So that took a lot of the experience out, because when I was little, my parents went on a trip. It was like right before 4th of July. We went up to Niagara Falls, and there was one arcade in Canada that had it, and I think it was like $2. You had to pay the attendant, and he turned the game on from the outside. He didn't use the coin slot, and I remember being awestruck by this game because it was so big. We sat in a gigantic theater, and the theater also vibrates when you get hit. Like the floor is supposed to shake.
Which the floors were shaking.
On yours, mine the gun just shook.
Okay.
You know, I think it's almost 10 years old. It's got to be over 10 years old now. So, you know.
And we actually got up to, I think it was the last boss, or right before the last boss.
Yeah, it was like one of
We were on the last stage. So
It would have been better if we had 6 players because you have a gigantic screen to protect.
and it's a big life bar, and everyone shares the same life bar.
And if you can see it on YouTube, they have both videos. They have it what it looks like when you finish the game successfully and unsuccessfully. But the whole game, you know, it's running on Laserdisc, so that's another reason why it's so rare, because, you know, it just doesn't work and you can't play it on MAME for obvious reasons. There was a PS1 port of it. They did make it on the PS1 that you could use the joystick, and you could also use
A light gun?
no, not the light gun. You could use the mouse. It actually had mouse support, and you could play it with 4 people. To split the screen into 4 instead of 3 and 3. They also had. I was surprised they had the grid up there. I got a chance to play it. They had it for a token, so I played it. They also had Wardigan Midnight Maximum Tune 2, which is a direct knockoff of Initial D that they also had. So I played Wardigan Midnight. I got the card. You know, it's fun to have those little arcade cards because you used to have them in Japan, right?
Yep.
And
You also had Virtual On.
yes, Virtual On, the first from Virtual On. It seemed like the controls were a little messed up here, right?
Yeah, I guess the sensor for the double, it's like the left trigger worked, the right trigger worked. Pulling both of them at the same time didn't work. It wouldn't let me charge the attack.
Mine also felt very delayed. It's like that I pressed it and like a second later, my character would do it, because I remember playing it at Six Flags and having it very responsive. And that's a shame because I love that game. It's just a hard game to find. I was so glad to find it that I got to sit down to play it. And there's a couple good racing games.
They had a lot of the gun games, but it was very generic. It was like an older, almost very similar to Dave and Buster's, their game selection.
Like a 90s arcade almost. Like how we had an arcade called the Spaceplex, and that was over in I think it was Smithtown, Long Island.
Yeah, I think so.
And it actually kind of notorious due to there was the Katie Beers kidnapping in the 1990s, and everybody thought that she was kidnapped from there, and it gave the place a very bad image.
And people stopped going there.
People stopped going, and they started getting like security guards, and
then
they just didn't fix anything.
Then they started ordering friggin' like rides. They started clearing out a lot of the. They used to have a bunch of old pinball and old classic games. They started moving them out for indoor amusement park rides, and it just his place, Funworld, is almost the spinning image of what Spaceplex was right before they closed.
Yeah, it had the mini Himalaya. It even had the Bolingo.
Yep.
Capcom. You people probably don't know this, but you know, Capcom was in the arcade industry. Everybody thinks, you know, they did Street Fighter and they had all the arcade games. They also did pinball, and they also had this thing called Bolingo, which is a tiny little. It's like kind of like handle pinballing almost, but it uses more pin. It uses like regular bowling pins.
Yeah.
And you put like $1 in it, and you get like 6 frames or something like that. You get. I don't think it's like a regulation bowling match, but it was pretty fun. They also, you know, they had a ton of the redemption games. They had the Deal or No Deal machine, which is a lot of fun.
They had a huge redemption game section, and they had what looked like some decent prizes.
Yeah.
Don't know how many tickets to win, but they had decent prize selection.
It was just like the guy on DDR Freak said. The dirt floor looks like it needs to be renovated.
The third floor wasn't that bad.
By the DDR area, it looked horrible.
But you have to be careful with the words you use. Renovated makes it sound like it's dilapidated, needs to be fully redone.
Yeah, that's what they were saying.
All it needs is a new rug and paint on the wall. Yeah. That's it. The problem is the rugs don't match up with the colors. You can tell they're old rugs. There's a section of floor with no rug, and then the paint on the walls don't match.
Yeah.
That's not a renovation. A renovation is a full-fledged, almost gutted and everything. It does not need that. It just needs a carpet and paint on the wall.
TLC.
Yeah.
You got the toll coming up. You should have enough money for the toll, but
yeah,
it's all the magic of.
I need a quarter.
I don't have any quarter. I give my list quarters. I'm looking for quarters.
I found a dime.
We found a dime. This is an exciting podcast, isn't it? Like, you got regular podcasts that telling you the gaming news of the day and stuff like that. We're telling you, like, we can't find the quarter. Let me see. Hold up.
Does anyone just have a box? They're probably not all exact change.
Yeah, they have. I have another. Nick, I have another dime.
Let's give them another dime.
Yeah, to give them a dime and a nickel. Isn't there a nickel in there?
We take pennies. This isn't communism.
Alright, here's some more of my change. Some more of my change. You can put it in.
Change.
Here you go. Yeah, it's exact change, even though if it's pennies.
No, this is an exact change.
Oh, it's not gonna change a lot. We're paying a toll. And we,
Anyway, I will say
sorry about that, folks.
I will say this about the place. They obviously know what they're doing with the setup.
Yeah.
DDR, Galaxian 3, and the few pinball tables and the Beatmania games and stuff are all alone on the 3rd floor.
Yep.
You can have the kids
With the fighting games too. You put the ruffians upstairs.
You can have the kids doing the DDR, cursing, fighting, whatever. The kids are nowhere near there.
Yep.
The kids are all on the 1st and 2nd floor. It's a good way to split them up. And there's no other reason to go up to the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
2nd floor is just the generic.
You can tell the 3rd floor was made for the Galaxian machine.
Yeah.
I got enough pictures of it.
And there's a generic arcade. There's a generic. 2nd floor is generic arcade games, time crisis games, racing games. All
Vampire
that stuff.
Hunter.
Vampire Hunter.
Oh my
yes.
god. Namco thought it would be good to go against Sega with House of the Dead, so instead of killing zombies, killing vampires. Wow. And I think like you get like a garlic bomb or something stupid like that.
And the roller coasters on the 2nd floor.
We also had T-Mech from Atari, the old tank game that I have not played in I think a good 10 years. It was really cool playing that. Gerard beat the crap. John beat the crap out of me. I'm sorry.
I beat the crap out of John.
Yes.
John won 2 matches. I won maybe 4.
We also had Prop Cycle that I should have played, but I didn't play it. That was a long time ago that I played that.
They have a huge eating area, a huge snack bar food section. It literally is an indoor amusement park.
Yeah.
It's almost like an indoor adventure land.
Yeah, for us.
Because they have a 2-story carousel.
Mm-hmm.
They have a huge like playpen ball pit area. And lots of benches and seating for everyone. But the biggest thing is it looks very nice on the outside, looks like a castle, but looks really ugly on the inside because the carpets are mismatched, the paint on the walls are mismatched.
Yeah. It just looked like
it just needs some
TLC.
It doesn't need a renovation, just TLC. It needs to be renovated.
Well, you can probably tell why the DDR-free people have not updated that post since June.
But when we left, there were kids showing up
Yeah,
to
because we got there in the morning. I don't know. Like most of the guys get there in the morning.
And again, I'm looking at them, and it's like, if you're there with your family with a bunch of little kids, and you see the way these kids look, you might be a little leery to take your kids there. But they're kind of hidden on the 3rd floor, which is an awesome setup.
They have it set up nice, you know. Just some of the games need a little TLC, which, you know, it costs money.
The only thing I'd say, it's not worth a 5 to 6 hour trip.
Yeah. It's worth a 5 to 6 hour trip to get the fun spot.
Yes.
And you can visit that on your way down.
Yeah.
You know, they'll be open.
If you're on your way home and you want to kill a couple hours, you can stop off there.
We did it because of we thought we were going to be here on Monday. It turned out that our friend John has to go back to school. They actually have school on Columbus Day, which we almost thought wasn't going to happen. So, in order
last year they didn't have school.
Yeah. So in order for us to visit here, we had to split up this in the morning and fun spot the rest of the day.
Yeah.
I'd also like to apologize. My camera, I have no idea what's wrong with it. I thought it was the rechargeable battery that I had just ate up batteries. Turns out that the thing just likes to eat batteries. So I had brought up the rechargeable battery and 4 brand new AA batteries. and as I was taking a video of Funworld, the damn thing died. And I had to get like another quick video of it, so there's going to be no more videos and pictures of FunSpot for this trip. But, you know, thank God, you know, FunSpot, like, keeps a lot of stuff the same. And, you know, there's not really any reason to take more pictures, but as I said before, any of the pictures and videos that we do that you see on the internet or in magazines or on other people's sites don't do the place justice. You have to go there yourself. So it's around 17 minutes for this edition of 8-Bit Bites. We're going to get going, and we're going to be going back to FunSpot in another 45 minutes, hopefully.
Yep.
And we will have another podcast at the end of the day from FunSpot, and hopefully I can get an interview with the manager, but he's constantly running around, so I was just surprised we were able to talk to him for as long as we did yesterday.
Yep.
So we'll be back later, and check out the rest of the site and let us know what you think. Once again, I'm Nick, 2600, and John. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.